right, welcome to another episode, guys.
Welcome.
Welcome back to Adrian and Julie.
Yeah.
Hey, now, have you heard of this talking dog? So what I mean is that you can start training your dog to talk.
I've seen a
Yes,
lot
have you seen it?
I've seen a lot of clips of dogs saying, "I love you." Like,
No, this one's different. So it's like a button,
Yeah.
different buttons.
Oh
that
yes,
you can
I've
get.
seen that. I've seen that.
Yes.
It's like I've seen content where it's like 25 buttons in front of them, and then each button means something.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So there's this clip in America, and it's like buttons everywhere. So she's like a dog. She's like a speech pathologist, and for I think for humans. And then so like her dog is incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
And so this dog is like pressing buttons.
Yes.
And then it's like, "Good morning, Stella." And the dog is like, "Morning, out, toilet."
Oh my.
So it's like multiple buttons to like press to train the dog. So I think I'm going to train my dog Monty. That's like I'm obsessed with.
But you already have
my
3
head.
children asking you things. I'm going to get 4 of who's going to be asking you more.
Oh, that's true. And then like, what do you do? Because then you would actually feel guilty of like
going to the park.
Yes.
I want to go to the park. I want to go to the park.
Groom. But then like, what do you do? Like, imagine if the dog's talking to you and then like, do you neglect them?
That's it.
You can't, like, you would actually feel really guilty. Like, would you just go, "Oh, I can't hear you. I don't know what you're saying."
It's a lot of effort, though. I'm sure it's not that easy. Like, you're going to be like, treat, like,
I know those things,
I don't
though.
think you have the time to do it.
I know those things. I think like best case scenario that it's like, yes, we will have a breakthrough and he'll get through one button of communication. Yes, but
maybe just have ones that like, but then they'll always argue for treats. But then they're always going to be pressing that button.
Yeah, I think it's like different levels though.
Yeah.
It's like you've got to start with like the basic command of like maybe toilet or food.
Yeah.
And then, but this dog that's gone viral has like this huge board that's like shaped around.
Board,
yeah. And it's like communicating in sentences.
Wow.
Would you do that too, Ollie?
I don't think so. It's a lot of effort that I don't have time for.
I know. You're such a realist, though. That's what I love. Like, that you're just like, no, I can actually see how... Yeah, because it's a lot of, like, training involved.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think at this stage, Monty hasn't, like, even nailed the bait. He can't do a handshake. Can Ollie do a full shake?
Ollie can do handshake, but only on one hand.
Only on he favours the paw.
Right. Because I think we've never taught him the difference of left and right. So when we say shake, he'll just give the right.
Oh, the only one.
He will never swap. Like, because it's our fault because we never taught him. And we just can't be bothered to do.
But do you blame the dog or do you blame yourself?
Oh, no, us, because we never taught him. We never taught him, like, right, left, we never taught him.
I like how you're like, we never taught him, because with Monty, it's just like, oh, that's just Monty. That's just how he is. He's all looks and no brains.
No, everything we taught him, like, he knows how to, like, sit, roll, jump up on you, and, everything we taught him. And then to go to bed, which he is now, where is he? Like, all of that movements we taught him, and things, we notice when we taught him at young, and it stays.
Oh, yes. That's responsible parenting. Yeah. I feel like Monty's kind of come from the rough streets of life where he just had too much thrown at him at a young age, where it's like,
Bowl.
It's like the normal trajectory of like even couples, right? The first thing is always couple up and then get a dog.
Yeah.
And then like think about adding kids, and then once the kid comes, it's always the dog goes to the bottom of the pile of the pecking order. Yeah. But then would you ever, if life got too busy, like say with your content creation and stuff got too busy, would you ever consider giving the dog away? Or is it like there are a few stories that we know.
Even if I were to move to Japan,
you would take.
I would do the quarantine. I'd pay whatever money. Because I know a neighbor, when we go to the park, who brought their Chow Chow dog, which is so cute, and it's not common to find Chow Chow here.
And they're really hard to find, actually.
Yeah, and it has like a purple tongue. It's like, anyway, from UK, and the quarantine was like $20,000 or something.
It's
like,
expensive,
something $10,000 or $20,000, like crazy, but they do it, and I would for Ollie.
You would,
He's like the best dog ever. Like,
he is
the best behaved dog. Like our future ever dogs. I don't know how to compete with.
You have to.
We'll have to get the dog with Ollie at the same time while Ollie's still with us.
Yes,
because then they will hopefully teach the new dog.
Oh yes, it's like a good influence. Yeah, it's like you need to behave like I am. Whereas like Monty, every time he's gone to like stay with someone, they've always asked to keep him. Like, because he's that type of dog where he's just very like intuitive, so he'll just like follow you and then like just be around and like even looking back at like phone memories, I love that he's in like a lot of the photos in the background. It's just like here, it's just around. Although he started to sing with the harmonica, so we got like a harmonica in like a goodies bag, and then like so. The harmonica music will be playing, and then Monty will be like, hoo, hoo, hoo. Doing it.
Yeah,
and it's like,
so interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting like that you find out certain things about like your pet later on. So for the longest time, we thought he couldn't fetch, as in he didn't like to fetch or like it wasn't his thing. And then we stayed at an Airbnb and they had like pet toys and there was like this long kind of lizard toy. That we would throw out, and then Monty just loves it. He goes insane for it.
So it's the right thing.
So it's the right thing, And
I've got a friend who every time she always like fetch. But we'll laugh at this because we always laugh at this, all of us. And then like every time she say fetch, I'm like, it sounded like you're saying bitch.
And does the dog respond?
Yeah. They'll always run back. It's Ollie's half brother. So,
right. So very intelligent. Intelligence runs in the family. It's interesting, like, because it makes me think of, there are a few people that we know where like life circumstances happen, like if they're little kids or like it doesn't fit in that family dynamic that they've kind of had to
give away the dog. Yeah. Oh, I know. I heard someone recently told me that the neighbor, it's an apartment. Like, this happens a lot more often in an apartment, I think, where the neighbors complain and they had to give away because of the neighbors.
Right, it's a complaint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they do. These ones are more like circumstantial. But it is really heartbreaking. Like, you feel for the... And that's why, like, one of my things that I love to do is go on, like, the, like, dog rescue sites and then, like, look. There's some beautiful, like, just really you can tell that, like, someone did care for it once upon a time.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, circumstances and whatnot.
Oh,
I know.
Donkey.
But if I could, I would totally just have a dog farm, just like house all the dogs.
House all the dogs, true. And there's a lot of places like that in China, like a sanctuary, like a
dog
person
sanctuary.
who loves dogs.
Yeah.
And they just decided to just keep dogs. And then they go live on Douyin or anything. And that's how they make money to keep the dog. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people, conspiracy theories that say that they're not, but I'm hoping I'm an optimist, so I'm hoping it's true. But they'll have like 100, like people just drop dogs to them because like dogs that have been abused and things like that.
Yeah.
And then,
well, I wonder like if you're an abused dog, whether you'd feel comfortable like living also with like so many other dogs, right? You would think that you would want like a pampered life.
Yeah.
Like you would want to be like one of one. That's it. Yeah. Instead of like going to...
But they look like a beautiful haven of dogs.
Oh, okay.
Like in the life.
Yeah.
And then people donate money through the life, like Douyin Life. Yeah. And then like that's how they buy the food through that.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking like, when you think of like those horror things that you see, like all these dogs crammed up in cages. But this is like beautiful running around in green fields type of situation.
Pretty much. But it's like a bigger... Maybe not field, but it's like a bigger, not cage either. It's like just behind them, just like a big not a big backyard.
A big backyard of like, and then they just do. Is it like a male or female? I'm
always interested in I think it's a couple, the one that I've seen, but there's quite a few of those, like the like the keepers, basically.
Yeah, to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, look, so we all know about King Charles, right?
Yes.
So King Charles, he's getting coronated, yes. And Camilla. I wanted to talk about the transformation of Camilla. So I don't know, like, just to give you context.
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, Camilla was absolutely, like, hated.
Yes.
Because she pretty much influenced the relationship of Diana and Camilla is the
Queen Consort.
Mistress. Yes.
Well, back then was the mistress.
Yeah, the mistress. Yeah. So that's what I mean. The transformation of being able to accept her has been quite incredible, because I think
it's Charles who's just like persevere.
Yes, he's campaigning. Yes. But don't you love that? Like that toughness of like, no, she's the one, and I'm not going to care about what you think. I'm just going to do it my way.
Yeah.
And then slowly you'll have to accept that this is like the one person for me.
That's the way.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
But I just think it's incredible that like before, if you look at all the surveys,
but she's not particularly loved now.
She is.
Is she?
Yeah, she's quite like, as in, if you were to do a poll of like royals, I think that she would be like on either on the baseline or like slightly above the baseline. Whereas before,
I was just listening to the radio and Carl still calls her the witch.
No, really? No. That's like...
She's like, no, Diana, I'm Diana all the way.
Oh my God, that's like my mum. My mum is
But then again, Diana is not suitable with Charles, because they obviously...
Different personalities.
They weren't together. Like,
yes. Yeah. And then like my mum just would always bang on about Diana. And then she has the same view. She's like, oh... Camilla, she ruined the marriage. Like, she destroyed everything.
Was Charles and Camilla the same age, or she was older?
Older. I think it's older. They apparently met when they were playing polo together. And then, it's like an intertwining kind of relationship throughout the years where...
Why wasn't he with him originally?
Well, because she was divorced.
Oh, okay.
Yes, divorced. And then, like... Because you're a king, you have to marry pretty much a saint.
A purist.
A pure. Yeah. Pure.
Yeah.
So,
untainted human being.
Exactly. And that person was Diana, because she was quite young when she got into this marriage with Charles. And
she was very young. I remember the age gap was like huge.
Well, extremely. Like when you think about when she passed, she was 36, like so young. And then her boys were like about to enter like close to their teenage years. And then, so it's this acceptance of Camilla that she's kind of come in, and a lot of people think that she's been able to steer Charles in the right direction and provide like that guidance and comfort and like that stability of being able to like just stick around.
Yeah.
Did
you see that clip of them trying to sign something and the pen leaked?
I love it.
And then it was like, this bloody pen.
This bloody fountain pen.
And then it looked like she was also pissed, but she was trying to manage the situation.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, let me get you another pen. Like,
yes.
This bloody pen. Like,
but it's such a common thing, right? Where it's like all pop and ceremony, and it's like the one thing that goes wrong, you're like,
And why was there a camera there? Or maybe to like record the moment.
This was to record the moment,
And then he reacted. He must have been told, hey, there's camera here, like, you know. But then,
but he probably so much pressure, right? I imagine there'd be so, because like I often think about like the royal situation in that he had to lose his mum, grieve for his mum, and yet step into a role of king.
I wonder if he's been so comfortable. And now he has to step up. Like, he'd be like, maybe I don't really want it. Like, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Or he's actually really been gunning for this. Like, you know, I wonder.
Well, even looking at, I guess, the history of, like, what he's done. So he's in charge of, like, the basic big fund, the duchy, which looks after, like, real estate, and it's pretty much how the royals sustain themselves, right?
Yeah.
And he's been able to provide a lot of innovation. So he's done, I think there's a town in the UK where it's completely environmentally friendly. And back like in the 90s, he was just seen as, like, what's this person talking about? He's, like, not in touch with the real world.
And
it's like everyone's caught up to him, of being sustainable. And like they've got this organic food brand that's like the number one organic food brand in the UK. That's like King Charles. That's him. That's his brainchild.
So now that he's no longer Prince of Wales, so all of that now goes to William.
Yes, all of now that goes to William.
Because not a lot of people know that the title is basically a company.
Yes.
That if you have the title, then it's yours.
Then it's your company, yes.
The fact that he lost the title, it's no longer literally it's gone. Like it's taken from him.
Yeah.
It's someone else's now. So that's quite interesting. That
you have to. Well,
estate, right? An estate.
The estate, basically, yes.
Estate is the company, basically.
Well, his younger brother, Prince Edward, got given the Duke of Edinburgh title, which was his dad's former title. And then that title, I think, pleased his wife because his wife was very close to the Queen, Sophie. And so now she's like the Duchess of Edinburgh. Yeah. And so it's kind of interesting how...
Pleased? Did you say...
No, the Duchess.
No, did you say that the title pleased the wife?
Yeah, they're happy.
The wife happy.
Yeah, because like you think about it, I think she was just...
No, because the word just suddenly become an English person. Because we don't really say the word that thing pleased her.
Oh, really?
You just say like that thing makes her happy.
Yeah. I suppose it is pleasing because it's like you waited so long.
No, I thought it meant something else. I was like, she couldn't possibly use the word pleased the way I thought it is. But you did use it because we're talking about the royals.
Yeah, the royals. A sense of decorum must be taken when you're talking about the royals.
Cleavage.
And then, you kind of think like, it would be, so it's like a family business and then you kind of maintain a family relationship as well. Oh my goodness, that would be so hard. And then not only that, everything is like in the spotlight. So you're literally in a fish bowl with everyone's like looking in and prying into your affairs.
I wonder if everyone's just so bitchy to each other, like in real life, and they call each other.
That's like family.
I can do this. Right?
I told you.
You gotta do this because I told you to do that. I wonder if it's like that. If it's like seniority, and then the other ones is like, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Yes, I think that's what.
Or is it actually cordial? Like it's actually like, oh, is it possible? Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Like, can we, move this thing?
Is it like succession, or is it like? Because I feel like that's sad if it's so like
cutthroat.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I guess at the end of the day, like everything has so much to do with like the titles and then the seniority, who gets what. And then you think about the hierarchy. It's not like a flat structure where everyone's free to like do what they need to. It really is like you report to the king and now Queen Camilla, and everyone else has to like fold, like get within that fold and then nothing else. Like you're kind of limited to this like really tight hierarchy and everything is to serve the monarchy, like, and then that's it. Like you'll never, like if you're the Duchess of Edinburgh, you'll always be the Duchess. You'll never become king or queen, right? Because you've got no chance like that, because that's the sister-in-law of the king, but then King Charles, the succession goes to William and then goes to his kids, right? All that's the line of it.
Yeah. But there's like, it's funny that in the Chinese history, there has been so many occasions where the most unexpected person became the emperor or empress. Empress, I should say. Like from a concubine and then suddenly became the empress. Like she's the most famous one. There's a TV series that blew up. Yeah. Because she was a maid or something. But then I think she was a maid and then she became a concubine and then she just killed everyone. It's just she's like, let's poison everyone.
Those like Chinese soap operas are the best.
But it's based on complete true story.
I know. But then that's what I love about it. Like everyone has an order, so it's like multiple wives. It's always centered around the wives in the court, and then it's like ninjas that attack. The
wives are always scheming.
The oldest one never schemes. The oldest one is complacent with her position. It's always like the second one that schemes, and then like the lower that you get down the rank, like the younger they are, the more docile they are. Yes. It always falls into that line.
Usually follow the bitchy second.
Yeah, but did you know my I think, what was it? My grandma's mum.
Concubine?
No, not a concubine, but she was like one of 4 wives. So it would be my great-grandmother was one of 4 wives. So like back in China, they came from like, I think, a line of like politicians. And yeah, like if you're from a respectable, noble family, that you have multiple wives. Yes.
Because right now in Indonesia, if you are Muslim, you're allowed to have 4 wives because in the Muslim law, I think Muhammad had 4 wives. So because of that, then you're allowed to have 4 wives, but not if you're other religion in Indonesia. So
that's interesting.
It's happening. So many people have multiple wives.
Do you know like someone who has multiple?
Maybe. I can't remember any. In Jakarta, it's not common practice because obviously people would like shun you or like just like not certainly acceptable in Jakarta.
Yeah.
But in the smaller cities, certainly it's something that are more.
It's something that's more common.
Done.
Yeah. But then I just think like the village idea of it.
I haven't been living in Indonesia for a while.
Yeah, but wouldn't you think like the village idea of it would be quite good? So then you have like. Oh, it's almost like you have different wives helping out with like the children and then like getting things done.
Well,
but then it becomes
it's a poor village and then you're a man who are financially independent.
Yeah.
And there are women that requires help, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the circumstances are, but as long as everyone can get along,
as if,
you know. Because I think in the police, like, I'm not sure if this is 100%. I think it's correct, but I think in the Quran, like Muhammad, like something about like him helping like the victims, the victims of fallen soldiers, the wives of the fallen soldiers.
Yeah,
that's what happened. That's why he had multiple wives, or something along that line.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the circumstances ever worked for having polygamy?
Yeah, polygamy, yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. Look, I guess maybe because, like, growing up, I would always, like, watch those soap operas and then, like, mum...
Harems?
Yes, and then mum would always talk about, like, oh, that's what that's grandma's, like, you know, that's how she grew up. She grew up, you know, having different, you know, that kind of family structure. And, it's just intriguing to see whether it would work or not. But then, like, I think for the husband's, like, point of view also, like, imagine managing different schedules, like, different wives and, like, their needs and wants.
I think a lot of those husbands, sadly, are the husbands that just don't care.
Yeah.
They just... Or I think, a lot of people obviously, the people that I've heard, like... It's a culture where women just serve.
Oh,
sadly.
Okay, yeah, right.
So maybe it works when it's so subservient like that. It's sad.
But then you'd have no one like to talk to, right? You wouldn't.
Your friends.
Yeah, I get. Yeah.
Your other friends with 4 wives. So, I don't know.
Well, actually. We were talking about this the other day, and it's the idea of, like, you know how you hear people getting married for, like, visas and, like, certain things like that. Yeah. And then we were talking about, you know, different circumstances to each thing, right? Yeah. So there'd be some women who marry and then they marry someone who happens to be, like, an older gentleman, more established, and then this person is free to then, you know, relax. Yeah. Catch up, eat food, gamble if they want. And then there's another person who's also their friend who has married, like, someone who's, say, our age, not established. Yeah. And, like, that person isn't forcing them to work, but it's more like, well, where's the money going to come from? We have a mortgage. And so, like, when you know about that situation of, like, well, wait a minute, like, my friend is in this country not working. Like, her husband is not always on her back telling her to work. Like, I guess it's like that relationship. Yeah, I guess that, like, it's different circumstances, right? But then, like, I guess for someone, I don't know, this speaking into, you know, like, from me, I know that if I were to settle to another country, I would want to work. I'd go straight away. Like, I wouldn't enjoy being, like, just doing nothing.
Yes. Yeah. But it might be difficult when you're settling in a country where you speak the language.
Like, but then you find, like, other people who speak the language to then do business. Like, I don't know. Like, is that normal? I wonder. Like, could you ever retire? That's, like, another thing.
I don't know.
Would you ever retire? But then when you get bored, like...
Well, now that I found myself being a content creator, I'll just continue making content.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Otherwise, like, but imagine if, like, you weren't to create content. You were just to, like, stay still and not, like, you would...
Oh, no, like, I would. No, I would just continue making content.
Do you reckon...
Now it's, like, in my blood. Like,
okay. Yeah.
Now, like, content creating is in my blood that I'll just, like, whatever I find interesting, I'll just start filming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
it's interesting, right? Like, the idea of retirement and then whether like, or not, like, what happens.
I don't know what happened when I'm 60, like, you know, don't know what happened.
I think when you're 60, you'd still want to do something.
Yeah, hopefully.
Right?
I hope so. I'd hope so.
Yeah, like David Attenborough is like 90-something.
Yeah.
And he's still going.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still doing documentaries, still doing what he loves.
True.
Yeah, so that's pretty good.
Actually, I just remembered someone I know whose uncle or someone I can't remember, married to this lady, and the lady died. And then the lady says, look after my sister. And the way he looked after my sister, he married the sister. Yeah. And then there was a term in Indonesian, apparently old term, that they use is called going down the ladder. Going down the ladder. Because back then, when you have siblings, a lot of them sleep in bunk bed.
Oh,
so you're going down the ladder of bunk bed from the older sister to the younger sister or something like that. Like, wow.
It's really funny. Yeah, I've never heard of that saying.
A good short cut just now. And then have an image of the bunk bed. And of a person like
sliding down.
Apparently that's what, because I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty brutal image in my head.
Someone like going down the ladder, bunk bed ladder.
This uncle going down the ladder.
It's funny how I find every almost like Chinese or Indonesian, like the language is so like
brutal.
Vivid. Brutal and vivid, like just responsive to like that exact thing. Someone's I
think the same day this aunt told me about this story. She was telling me like, oh, you know, how her opinion is if you are of a financial level, whatever your financial level is, you're supposed you and your family, and when you're looking for partners, you should look for someone in the same level. And they call in Indonesian, there's a word, the same window. Yeah. Like, so your neighbor and your neighbor are off the same window level.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because when it's so far different on the gap, it causes problems.
I think that's very old school. Do you believe that?
What do you believe?
Yeah. Look, yes and no. Like, I think the window makes it easier. Yeah. No doubt. Like, I think a lot of my friends have married into the same window.
It makes it easier for sure.
Yeah. And then there are other cases where, like, the windows don't match, but then, like, the personality and the will of the individuals match each other. Yeah. So it's like, you know, they get along. It works. Yeah. But yes, I totally agree with that. I've never heard of that before as well. Like where it's like different windows.
Maybe that saying come out of convenience. It's just easier when it's like that.
Yeah, but then like, you know, as a parent, like if you were to see your, you know, daughter or your son like go for a window that's not the same one, like I don't know. I think for me, I would
maybe because in Asia it's like family wealth. While in here, in Australia, it's like individual achievements. It's like, what is that? What is that person doing?
Yes.
You create your own window.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
The window is not the family, the household. It's literally your window.
Yeah. It's
that's how I see it.
Yeah. It's not as certain families that are like ethnic like families, they care about like the whole package of like what comes with the window.
The family might care. I'm saying the individual. The individual says it's my achievement.
Yes,
that matters.
Nothing else.
Not my family things, but the parents would probably
think the family. I think every family would have to like look at the whole package that comes with it, right? But then I guess my parents didn't really. And then I think they've kind of stayed out of it. Yeah, like legit. Yeah. That's like a very Western thing to do, right? To stay out of it. And I think actually looking at all my cousins and everything else, they've kind of stayed out of it too.
You've got siblings, right?
Yeah. So,
and your parents still stay out of all of their
stay out of it all. Yeah, stay out of it. So I think that would be really hard to do, but like it's for the best, you know?
Yeah.
Like to just stay out of it all and like be, you know, Switzerland.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good for the children because kept meddling, like like
You
that House of Hope.
Oh yeah, I know. Okay, so this one comes from TikTok, actually. TikTok.
Yeah.
So this TikToker who's 21 has made enough money to buy herself a house, mortgage free, right?
Yeah.
She's 21, and then she's done a little TikTok about it, and then she's received backlash.
Which is what?
Because the economy, inflation.
My reaction is about to be so like logical in my head.
Yeah.
Like why would you want to be mortgage free? I feel like it's such a.
But why wouldn't you?
No, I feel like this day and age, it's such a misconception that mortgage is bad, because it could really work for you. Because especially if your first house will never likely be your end house. It'll always ended up being a investment property, and you always want to somehow negative gear it. And
that's like such an accountant
That's
response.
what I'm saying. Like exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like the minute somebody says, "Oh my god, I could buy a house mortgage free," I'm
such
like,
an accountant response.
why? Mortgage
but maybe
work
like
for you.
they're like
Could
not,
work- could
but
work for
then
you.
they're not at that level though. Like this is like at the beginner level. It's like say you're playing Super Mario. You're like you're talking about like you're battling Bowser. You're like at that level already. Like as in thought, like because it's such an accountant response.
Wouldn't you, if you're at the beginner level, wouldn't you try to be safe and not just chuck your money, all your cash into
it?
A $1-2 million
No, but then
house?
I guess so she would probably think like, oh, okay, I don't need to pay a mortgage ever again. Like I'm living, I don't need to worry about.
But you're dropping your cash, what's the word? Your cash flow.
Your cash flow,
by like $1 million.
Yes, I get what you mean.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's
my
kind of
logical
like, logical
accountant
brain.
hand.
Yeah.
Oh, you get a negative gear. You're gonna like,
you should have to do a response
expenses.
video. No, you have to do a response video to that TikTok.
Look, I'm sure there will be a response video saying that's actually the most financially stupid decision you've ever made. Because that's why rich people, like extremely rich people, like when they Kim Kardashian or something like that. I saw a TikTok recently. I'm plucking a number out of my head. It's like they're worth however many billions.
Yes.
But they just bought something for 100 million, but 80 million was mortgaged and 20 million was their money.
Yes.
And even though they're worth $1 billion,
why don't you pay it off?
It's because the 80 million is better at making more money for the way more than the mortgage payment.
Yes. So explain that, like for like 101 people listening, like 101 finance people, as to why
you can put your money on ETFs, like on like Vanguard or whatever. I'm using Vanguard, but you could use whatever ETF.
So it's more like don't have all your cash sitting in one spot, make it liquid in order to invest in other things. Yeah.
And property grow. Yes, it grows in the long run.
Yes.
But that means your money could be well served.
Better spent. Yeah.
Staying somewhere that is growing way faster than where the money is growing in the property.
Currently, yes.
Because property is like, 3-5% or whatever.
Yes.
And then it just doubles in like 30, 40 years.
Yes,
but in 30, 40 years, you could
game.
put your money where ETFs, and it could be between 8% to 20%.
Yeah.
Growth each year on year.
Based on historical data. Yes.
Obviously it could go down.
Yeah.
But this is like in the long run. Based on historical data.
But we're not a finance.
No, we're not a finance person. Don't take financial advice from me. This is literally, I'm just like, in my head, it's just
thinking about like the basics, the basics. Yeah.
Like putting cash and just.
But in fairness, a lot of people didn't learn this stuff though. Like really, you know what I mean? Like the conversations between like a parent and a child, like it differs so much.
But
like
there
some people are learning, you know what I mean?
Anti-Lloyd.
Yes, some people very anti.
And I found Asians super anti-Lloyd.
So anti.
They see, I mean, did you know? I think this is true. I believe this is true. The word mortgage is from like mort and something, which means like till death.
Oh, yes. Like
in Latin, it's a Latin word.
So it's meant to trap you to death.
Well, we're gonna be smart. We're gonna be smart with money. So the backlash
it's backlash. So it's basically like the comments. Yeah, everyone's like, oh well, I've had to work 24 years, and I've put in all this effort, and I've managed to.
She made it herself. Like, it's your fault for not making it.
Oh, God. That's such a
your fault and your
response.
situation's fault and your environment's fault. Like, every aspect. I'm not saying it's your fault, but it's your circumstances.
The circumstance, like everyone's circumstances are so different. Like, you know, and so
good on her for being able to do it for me. Like, you know, good on her.
Like, like 21 is very young to be able to pay off an entire mortgage. And I think maybe the way she's gone about doing it is like
how did she explain it? I wonder, because if she explains it, like, you know,
do you want to watch it?
It's okay. No, because
we'll put it on.
Because if the hate comes out, like, you know, if she explains
you're so true, because I think there was a bit of like an exploding champagne bottle.
Okay, because if the way she explained it is in a way of like motivation, how she did it,
like the hustle,
like it could be good.
True.
I guess for the young generation, it could be bad message saying that, you know.
Well, I remember watching the video and it was like a bit of champagne popping, bit of like maybe for her it's like a off the moment kind of content. That's right. Yes.
Or like, I'm feeling happy, let me make all the happiness.
Yes. Let's capture this happiness.
But sometimes the things I realized recently watching contents and then where it get lots of hate, right? But then you look at the likes number, it's still huge as well.
Right.
So the hate people are the one who comment.
Yes, but the likes.
Millions of likes.
Clock the likes, yes. Yeah.
So it's like,
would you care more about reading the likes or the comments?
No, usually comments are the one that gets you.
Yeah, that's true. Because it's like it's more detailed about the comments that they put.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a struggle.
Sometimes it's like, I do find like internet citizens.
Yep. Netizens.
Netizens or net citizens.
Netizens.
They are quite hilarious. Like some of the comments.
Sometimes I'd be just reading comments.
Yeah. I know, it's entertaining, right? Like, I just love people, like the creativity and the wit.
Yeah.
And like, I just like, this person's just like.
That's why there was a content recently I saw of how people watching Korean stuff could be genius because they're watching at the short content or long form, whatever, while reading at the comments, while reading the subtitle, while typing a comment. So it's all like at the same time. It's on a different language that you don't understand.
Yeah, that's right.
But you still get it and you still get entertained with it. Yeah. It's like multitasking to the
max.
No, that's so true. Sometimes I'd just be cracking up laughing just because of a comment.
It's just a comment. And you just think, wow, you were very, very like witty. And it's like, I love the Reddit threads, like the comments that you read and just like how people react. I almost enjoy the comments more than I actually do the post.
For Reddit, for me, my ultimate reading back when I was reading Reddit, no longer much these days, but back then was like, I won $50 million, what I did with it. No, AMA, ask me anything.
Yes,
I just won 50 million. And then people just start asking. Yeah. And this is how I know about finance stuff, is because of people. Because people like be serious. Like they're serious.
Yeah, no, they're serious.
You know,
some are serious.
I remember they said, what is your advice for people who are winning $50 million on like
lotto? Or just
whatever,
anywhere?
Any form that you suddenly just windfall, get $50 million or 10 million, whatever. And then the answer is so good. The answer was...
What was the answer? In the most serious...
In the most serious way. Yeah. And his answer is like, first you hire a...
financial advisor.
And then you hire an accountant. Yeah. And you hire a lawyer. Yeah. And then you hire an auditor to audit them. And then you hire an auditor to audit the auditor who audited them. It's like layers.
Really thought about it,
right? It's layers of protection.
Because I think like the auditor would be like next level again. Like you wouldn't need an auditor ordinarily.
Need an internal auditor and then an external auditor.
Like a consulting firm to audit like the numbers, like the books. Oh, yeah.
I was like, wow, okay.
It's interesting. Yeah, like I love it.
Do you know anyone who won lottos?
No, I don't. Yeah. Like, although, what would you do with the lotto money? It depends how much lotto money.
I knew someone in Perth who won like a couple millions.
What?
Well, sorry, not I knew, but I knew.
Oh, actually, no, I do.
They've finished it all, by the way. Whoever that person I know. Yeah, all the money's gone now.
How?
Just spend it all.
Millions?
Yes, a couple millions, 2 millions.
Okay, but like on a house or on...
I don't know. I've just been told that he finished it all.
As in investments or like...
I don't know whether it's silly things or
you
not.
just don't know. Yeah, right.
I've just been told like, that person finished all. it's a story in Perth. Like in Perth, it's a small city, especially the Asian community. So we all just like, shh, 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 shh. And then the old ladies would just tell me,
I know.
You want
The old ladies are like Gossip Central. They were the gossip sites before gossip sites. But I almost want them to say, oh, he invested like good on that person. You know what I mean?
I should have dig
yes.
deeper. Like what did he? I remember they say, oh, just the way they answer is so snarky.
Oh
and
yeah,
be like,
yeah.
Oh, you finished it on all the Louis Vuittons, like
all the Louis Vuittons. So in terms of my lotto story, there is a friend of mine that I went to university with, right? Yeah. And he was all over the front page of like the Bathurst Advocate that he'd won lotto. And
that's like you're
I know. Well, it's kind of interesting because we were uni kids back in at that time, and I suppose he's young as well. Yeah. So he invested. He bought a ute.
Yeah.
And then with the other money, I think he invested it like smartly. I think the big extravagant thing was
because there's so many YouTube of like people just losing it all, like YouTube of top 10 lotto winners, and then where they're all, and then out of all 10, like 9 of them are like just lost them all, or just lost their life, like they just become like a human being that just either splurge and just destroy their life.
Yes, that's
or
the common
their
narrative.
Family destroy their life from like trying to take things. Yeah, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should cover that.
Oh, the top $10 stories.
Winners and then what happened to them. Would you be interested? Because it's tragic. It's like
it
tragic.
Is.
But I'm so glad with someone you knew that would actually be.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Yep. He did. He invested and like
still
good
now.
on him.
Still to know.
Not quite sure, but I imagine like whoever was advising him, had their head screwed on properly. And I do like the fact that he did splurge himself with like a ute, like because he's a country person.
If I were to win, it depends. The answer is so layered as my accountant had that it depends how much. Because anything less than 5 million, I don't think I'm going to change my life much.
I was going to say.
I'm going to splurge on holidays and buy, I already have a nice car. I don't know how much more nice am I going to get. The car, I don't know. I'll get a Bentley, maybe.
But then you wouldn't drive around. That's the thing I think, like with cars, like it's not practical to drive around a Bentley. Yeah. Like, do you think?
No. I will buy an SUV Bentley.
Oh, okay, right. Yes, that's the practicality.
I've got an SUV. Once you've got an SUV, I will never go back to an SUV. Okay,
that's really practical. Yep.
Yes, like if I ever buy a Maserati, I'll buy an SUV Maserati.
Do they make SUVs?
Yes, they do.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So my answer is 5 million. I'll splurge
5 million.
Maybe like a few 100,000 on holidays and buying some things.
Yep.
Everything else, maybe I'll buy a bigger house.
Yep.
So put it on a property, mortgaged.
You're not going to. I'm going to offset that money.
I'm not going to pay it off for sure. Like the offset, thank you. Like I'll just offset it. Like unless I have the money to do business or do whatever I want to expand my whatever I'm doing, right? But 5 million is not. Honestly, in Australia, 5 million is not life changing.
Isn't that such a shame?
It is life changing. Yes, it is life changing, but it's not like. The life-changing it is that it was 10 years, 20 years ago.
This is true.
$5 million.
Yes. So it's, completely.
It is, okay.
It is life-changing.
It is life-changing, yes.
It's huge.
But it's not life-changing to the point that I'm going to be
living at large.
I guess it could for people who just like have nothing, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
But, for me, under my circumstances, that'll have to be more than $10 million.
Yes. But I think
to
also like
change my life.
This is such like a city conversation because
I might not even quit my job if it's less than 5 million. Actually, it's crazy, but I might just keep on doing my job.
Keep on doing your job, yeah. But then, I suppose. But it's such a like city thing that we're talking about because I think in the country you would live an amazing life.
That's true.
Right. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd just be. It'd be like nice.
And all of those lotto winners are usually regional people.
Yeah, the ones that ring all in Perth.
The whoop whoop land.
Yeah, in the whoop whoop. Yeah, well, country store in yours is Perth.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
But then 40 mil. I mean, that's just plain money. That's just.
If I think that money.
I think that money would like actually affect your life, like in a bad way. Because you have no. But think about it. You have no sense of like.
I remember that
need
guy.
Or want. Trust me.
So. Responding in that question, that statement that you just did, that guy that did the AMA Reddit.
Yeah.
Sorry, guy or girl? I don't know.
Yeah.
one of the response is that do not use your money in the first year. Use very minimal amount in the first year.
You don't touch
because you're going to do crazy shit
things.
if you are touching it in the first year. So that's one of his. If you win 40 million, just don't touch it for a year.
Don't touch it. Yeah.
Just be very vigilant about what you're using it for 1 year, just to save yourself from all the sorrow to come.
The heartache, the hardships. I mean, the worst ones are always, like, you know, when it starts with, I won the lotto and I told everyone. Like, that's a bad story.
Never.
It's like, that's going to end up.
Sorry, Mum. I don't know if I'm going to tell you.
No, you wouldn't. It's just too much.
I'll just pay off for everything my mum and dad need.
Yeah, but then they'll be like, where'd you get your money from?
Social media. Now I have Mac is. Now I have an excuse now. I don't know.
There's like money, like, you know, the it's like, how did this person get all this money?
I don't think I'll tell because I feel like it changed people.
Yeah, no, 40 mil is just too much.
And my dad is such a what's the word? He's a loose cannon for something about that he's proud of.
Yeah, he'll just tell everyone.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
He'll be like,
that's like my mom.
Oh my gosh, danger! Like he'll just like seriously, like he's like a walking billboard of their children. Literally, that's my dad. Like he's proud of everything the children do, which is such a bless. Like, you know, but that's dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
And then everyone's gonna be queuing up, lining up in front. And my mom is such a social person. Sorry, not the word social in Indonesia is different. My mom is such a charitable person. In Indonesian, we use the word social because social means being charitable in Indonesian. He's such a charitable person. He'd force me to give money to everyone that you can think of.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it would just be like non-stop. Yeah. You just have to be like doling out the bills all the time. But yeah. All right, well, if you made it to the end of the... Okay, so I'm thinking a ladder emoji.
I was about to think of bunk bed. Oh my God, I was thinking of bunk bed. I swear I was thinking of bunk bed. And you say a ladder, I'm like, I don't think there's a bunk bed. So a ladder probably is easier. I swear I was thinking of a bunk bed.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.